What is going on, guys? Today we are finishing up our Stage 2 Predator 420 build from GoPowersports.com. You can check it out at a link in the video description. This thing is a thumper. Last time we were hung up because we didn't have a proper valve spring compression tool, but we got that. We finish up the install and it sounds mean. Enjoy the video.
So we went and got two different types of tools used to compress the valve springs. We've got the standard kind that you have to have the head removed to use, and just so happened to see this at the store today and I bought it. Hopefully this will work and we won't have to remove the head. Let's give it a shot, dude. So I tried using this tool. This tool is for automotive use and not for small engines, and when I go to compress this, it is actually spreading these arms out and it just won't work.
So because we have to take the head off, we have to take the carburetor off, the throttle linkage up top, and the charcoal canister underneath there.
Wonder if there's any fuel in it. That's off. Then we can take this off. That was pretty tight. Doesn't have any lines hooked up to it. Head gasket looks pretty good. Doesn't look like we've done any damage to it. Let's get rid of this charcoal canister.
So with the second tool we tried, we were able to get the first set of valve springs in without too much difficulty. So we're going to show you how to do the second one.
This is for automotive work, not small engine work. So we have to compromise with this. What you do is you have to have the head off. And you install this tool. Went in, I found a nice socket about the right size for the valve. Put it right there.
And it sort of works like vice grips.
And yeah, and then you just kind of clamp down on the tool. You get a little magnet. And you retrieve the valve keeps. Spring in hand. And it's a dual spring setup. You have a little spring inside of a big spring.
So if you install a cam with a higher RPM power band than stock, you're probably also going to want some stiffer valve springs to help the engine turn up to that higher RPM.
You already clamped it.
Yep.
And it's just putting the keeps in.
Well, that's it. See, that wasn't so bad with the head removed.
Yeah, no. Totally worth it.
Yeah.
Sure. And the gasket's in good shape too.
Yeah, sure didn't want to remove the head though. Alright, dude, I did my research and this should be torque to spec.
Sounds good.
Yeah, dude.
So now we can put the valve cover back on, install the cam, side cover, and just reassemble, right?
Well, we have to put the cam in it.
Yes.
And then we have to put the
flywheel
lifters in it.
Yep.
Push rods.
Yep.
We got to adjust the
valve lash.
Thank you.
Yep.
Man, we're a team. You're finishing all the sentences for me.
All the sandwiches, dude.
So we're about to install the camshaft, the lifters, the push rods, but first thing we've got to do is we've got to loosen the adjusters because we got to have enough room to pass the push rods in.
So here we have a comparison of our aftermarket cam, which is on the left, and the stock cam, which is on the right. So to the naked eye, you can tell it has a little bit more lift. I'm sure it definitely has more lift than the stock cam, but the most obvious thing is going to be the duration. So the cam lobe is just fatter in general. It's going to hold the valves open for longer, letting more air in and exhaust out. So let's go ahead and install this puppy.
And this is a 276 lift cam.
There we go.
Cool. And it's going to be critical that those two dots line up. So there's one on the cam and one on the crankshaft. So since this is going to be a high performance engine, we're getting rid of the charging coils and the starter and the little ignition box there.
This thing's really losing some weight, dude.
Yeah. So we have removed the low oil cutoff, wiring, grommet, all that stuff, and we are left with a hole. Well, we need to plug that hole, so the best way to do it is to tap it and put a bolt in it. The grease will help grab some of that metal and keep it from going inside.
We went with a 7/16 by 20 bolt.
Probably should have done this while the crank was still out and stuff, but
It would have been best.
it'll be fine.
We didn't think about it.
And we're using red thread locker to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. Alright, so Ike's just spinning it over by hand to make sure the rod doesn't get anywhere near the bolt, and it doesn't.
Oh, there you go. No, we're good.
So we made a nice little starter delete block off plate to keep the wind inside the engine cover so it doesn't exit out the hole. Looks pretty professional, man.
Does it?
Yeah. We
Thank
tapped
you.
the holes and it's in there. And we're going to keep going.
The kit comes with a brand new side cover gasket, which we really needed. Right when we took the cover off, it ripped immediately. So, thank you.
Nice touch. Nice touch. And we're going to reinstall it.
Torque to spec.
Cool. Flywheel. So we're setting the coil gap. We can't find any factory specs, so we're using the good old matchbook trick. And because we're going to be turning this engine higher RPM than what was original, we're doubling up. So we folded it in half. Double paper. Pretty heavy springs, man.
You feel it.
It's definitely a pretty engine. Wow. Those are some heavy springs. So it's almost time to install an air filter and a header on this engine. Now, it would be very silly to go back with factory parts because those are the most restrictive. So we're going to be adding a Stage 1 Predator 420 kit from GoPowersports.com. That's going to include an air filter, a pre-filter, an air filter adapter, a choke bracket, and a carburetor jet. On top of that, we're adding this really, really cool header. It's going to help us make more power. So we made sure to set our coil gap to at least 30 thousandths, and valve lash is going to be between 0.004 and 0.006 on intake, and then between 0.006 and 0.008 on the exhaust. And we couldn't find if it was hot or cold, so we're just going to assume that's cold. It'll be fine.
Yeah. So we need to come up with all the bolts. Dang! I found the other magnet. There we go.
So in order to install this new large diameter header, we are going to have to take the studs out and find some Allen bolts to go in there. Yeah. And we're just having a hard time getting the studs out.
Yeah, they're in there, dude. I might have to remember that tool I've got, that stud remover
Yeah.
tool. Okay. Oh, wow.
We're going to go ahead and do the carburetor jet, air filter, and the intake side of things. So, going to drop the bowl here. I'm going to make sure we put it back the exact same way we took it off. Get a pretty small flathead screwdriver, feel around for it, and I think I got it. Never 100% sure. There it is. And it's just as simple as going back in with the aftermarket larger carburetor jet. And you don't go too tight because it's brass. And then you reinstall the carburetor bowl, and that's it. Now that I know where it needs to go, I'm going to go ahead and take it back off, tighten it up. There we go. Now for the air filter. And the only trick to this is you have to make sure that your clamp is straight when you tighten it down so it doesn't fall off. All right, so we just filled this up with 10W30 oil, which should be what we need for the climate here in North Carolina. We grabbed some 8x125 bolts. They're 20 millimeters long, and they're gonna work for the header. Oh, hey, I need a gasket. Here we go. Header's installed. Looks really nice. We're almost ready to go here. We're just adding a throttle return spring because we removed the governor. We don't want to forget to do that because we don't want our engine to go wide open and blow up before it even gets a chance to do wheelies on something.
Let's fill it up, bud.
Yeah, man. Put in some 95 octane Sunoco Optima. Yeah, engine's looking good. It's all together. We even have a kill switch rigged up in case, well, for when we want to kill it. And yeah, we're going to take it outside and fire it up.
So who's going to do the honors of...
I'll do the pulling, you do the sitting since you're heavier.
All right.
I'll try.
What are you saying? Am I fat? Oh my God, this thing's still heavy.
It's still heavy, what?
Where are we going to fire it up? Right here?
Right there, buddy.
Right here. Ah.
Dude, that might be the loudest engine we've ever put together. All right, somebody didn't tighten the header bolts tight enough. That would be me. Dude, I did not expect that to sound and look and just feel as cool as it did.
What?
Yeah, that thing was loud. Dude, the flames were incredible. It's going to be mean.
We should be running it longer, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, we just need
We're not going to bore y'all with the break-in.
No, we need to tighten the header bolts. I just kind of put bolts in here. I didn't do lock washers, so when you're building your Stage 2 420, use lock washers. I was like, it'll be all right. But like, this thing was shaking the ground, dude. Overall, the install wasn't too bad. It should be really, really mean on our next project, which I guess you guys are going to see next time. I'm really excited because it's going to be street legal. So be sure to check out our links in the description to the Stage 2 and the Stage 1 performance kits from GoPowersports.com for this Predator 420. Should be really mean. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram at Cars and Cameras Reviews in between videos to see what we're up to. You may even see our next project. And if you want to help support us in what we do, pick up some of our shirts, stickers, hats, or hoodies at Cars-Cameras.com. Thanks for watching. Leave a thumbs up. We'll see you next time.